Welcome in. Hour number 2, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show, joined now by Senator Tommy Tuberville, also
Coach.
That's Tommy Tuberville. I told your assistant here, Mallory, who was awesome. I said, I'm going to tell Coach early on, it's SEC Media Days. You and I have crossed paths a bunch of years down at SEC Media Days. Would you rather, which is more fun, which is easier, Republican National Convention or SEC Media Days, which are right now, as we speak, going on in Dallas, Texas?
Well, SEC Media Days, that's fun. I mean,
you talk about football.
He's here to save the country, Clay. That's what the RNC's about.
Well, I tell people, that's fun. This is life or death.
Yeah.
Okay? It is, really is. If you think about the direction this country is going, we've got huge problems and very little answers from the left. So that's the reason we're trying to push our group to hopefully take over the reins.
It looks like we've got a good shot of unified government here, given the direction of everything, all the polls and all the rest of it. How I understand we don't celebrate early, but how are you feeling about it right now, and what do you think has to be done to run it into the end zone?
Well, I've been trying to help senators get elected. President Trump will take care of its own. I played a lot of golf with him, and
so you're helping by playing golf with him. He's good, but
at the end of the day, we don't get the Senate, he'll be impeached within 6 months.
Yeah.
They'll jerk him out. So what we've got to do is we've got to get the majority of the Senate, and I think we will. Hopefully we'll keep the majority in the House, and then if we get President Trump in, we can get something done. But I'll tell you, we'll have a government that will be stalled out if we don't get all three of them.
Who should be Senate Majority Leader if you take the Senate back?
Well, I think what's going to happen is we've got about 6 or 7 people that could be new coming in that's going to have opportunity to vote. I'd like to get somebody that maybe new. I was for J.D. Vance putting his hat in the ring for that. Of course, now it's
he's got another job.
Yeah,
he's got
another
responsibilities.
going on. But we've got some good young people in there. I tell you what, Eric Schmidt is really good out of Missouri. Ted Budd from North Carolina. We've gotten away from a lot of the old regime and getting more new people in there. I'm excited about it. I'm more excited now than when I first went in.
So as you look here, we're sitting at 3.5 months out from the election. You mentioned you want a Senate majority. Who are you optimistic about? For people out there listening nationwide, where do you think? Obviously, pickup in West Virginia gets us to 50-50.
Right.
Are you optimistic about Ohio, Montana? Who have you seen and you said, boy, this guy or this gal, they really have a shot?
Well, Larry Hogan is up in Maryland. Who'd have thought?
Right.
I mean, this is a totally Democrat state, but he was governor there, well-liked. I think he's got a chance now. There's a lot of water underneath the bridge between now and then. And then Bernie Moreno in Ohio, I think he's leading.
Yeah.
In that one. I don't know about Pennsylvania. I think a lot of these are going to go in line with President Trump. And that's the reason it's so important to get on the ticket with a guy like President Trump. I think Kerry Lake's going to win. Everybody's got her. No, it's not going to win. Oh, this guy's a communist that she's running against. Come on. I mean, you're going to
You don't have to sell us.
We're on,
we think
we're
he's a
on
communist
that team.
too. Yeah, for sure. Well, what would be top of the agenda if you could, if you have you'll have a say certainly, but if you got your pick coming into, again, just to assume we have a Republican majority, House, Senate, and Donald Trump in the Oval Office, what would you want to see get done in terms of major legislation year one?
Well, first of all, if you've got all three, you've got reconciliation. Okay, reconciliation is something that it only takes 51 votes to pass something. In the Senate, normally, thank you, in the Senate, normally it takes 60 votes, but you got several things that you can pass with reconciliation with 51 votes. And so President Trump's first year is going to be huge because he's only got 4, and once you get past that second one, it's going to be very, very tough. But if if somehow can get all 3 stages of the government, then we'll have a great opportunity. But we have got to start cutting back on this debt, guys. We are printing $80,000 a second right now, keeping this country afloat. We can't do that. Our kids are going to be overwhelmed by the debt and high prices just in the very near future.
Saturday, by God's grace, President Trump is spared.
Right.
But I know that you guys in the Senate have been trying to figure out how in the world did that Secret Service head allow this to happen? How troubled are you by the fact that guy got a shot on Trump?
Yeah.
and the fact that you know this, I've been talking about it on the show for a long time. Football coaches are held to a higher job standard than a Secret Service director. We're getting stuff backwards when that's the reality. She should, I bet you agree, get fired. But how in the world is that ever allowed to have happened in the first place?
Clay, let me tell you, I'm a common sense guy. I'm not a politician. I came from a structured environment for the last 35 years. I've never seen so incompetent people in my life as what we have on the Democratic side in Washington, D.C. It is embarrassing, the people that come through our building in terms of being nominated and getting their nomination through. I mean, these people have no business running our country. Now, this lady, I don't know her, but I will tell you this. Just yesterday, about this time, we had a conference call with her. First thing she says, and tries to push over all of us, Democrat and Republican senators, she says, first of all, this was a failure of assassination. Stop. Once that trigger was pulled, you should be fired. Okay, because that's what you do.
You can't rely on the bad aim of the assassin.
The fact that the guy happened to miss because Trump turned his head is not a saving grace of the Secret Service.
As we've been discussing, Senator, it would be still unacceptable, but certainly I think there'd be a somewhat different feeling if it was an incredibly complicated plot taken on by trained assassins from distance, doing something that wouldn't be expected. Yeah. This was some lunatic 20-year-old with no real training that anybody knows about, doing the most obvious thing possible to try to kill a presidential candidate, and he almost pulled it off.
And walking around 30 to 40 minutes beforehand, people recognize him, climbing on top of a building. What in the world is going on? But there's going to be a huge fight here with local police and Secret Service.
Over who's to blame. They're going to try to blame shift.
Local police said, listen, y'all put us in charge of traffic and parking.
Yeah.
So what we got to do with a shooter?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is a situation where the buck stops with the Secret Service. Oh, yeah. I don't think you can get around that, no matter what the local law enforcement role was.
He is the guy that's in charge of all this is Joe Biden. He's fired one guy, and that was the guy that's stealing luggage out of airports, putting dresses and stuff.
Right. And it wasn't his first time doing that either, by the way.
No.
He had a habit.
I think he resigned.
I got him. I got Senator Tuberville.
How the hell do we have guys who are stealing dresses in positions of power in the Biden administration, dudes in the first place? But you're right. He's the only person that's gotten fired.
Yeah, the non-binary energy official.
Before the sun went down after that, she should have been fired.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's nobody running the zoo up there right now. Joe Biden, He doesn't know what day it is, so he's not going to fire anybody.
One thing you get the sense of, I think, Senator, is that when it comes to a lot of these agencies, and look, I used to work at one. I was in the CIA. If you look at the donations, for example, I mean, I can think of the Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump year. Overwhelmingly, civil service donations go to Democrats. It just feels like you can't really separate that from this has become within the federal bureaucracy. Not only is it larger, more powerful, more expensive than ever before, there's no accountability. Yeah. There's none whatsoever as long as you're on the right side politically, which is the Democrat side.
And I keep hearing, oh, man, we're going to have House hearings next week. We're going to have Senate hearings. They don't mean a damn thing, okay? You can get somebody to just get up there and absolutely lie to you. Nothing's going to happen. It's got to go back to the person at top that's got to hold people accountable for their job, but nobody is. Washington, D.C. is a cluster. It is an absolute cluster. We got way too many bureaucrats, way too many people that work in the federal government. Nobody's accountable. Do what you want to do. Half the people, I'd say 80% of the people in Washington, D.C., they haven't been to work since COVID. They work from home. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
Yeah, we can't run a country like this.
Senator Tuberville, I'm glad you're here with us, but I know that you're missing college football, but you're fighting to save the country. We'll talk to you again soon.
Wait, but I need to know which game, as a devoted War Eagle fan, which game this year do I have to go have Clay take me to see, because he can get into all these things?
This year, for the first time in the history of Auburn, Oklahoma comes to town. I think it's like the second or third game. That would be
That's the one?
Good, I don't know whether Oklahoma's going to be any good, but they've still got the name.
Yeah.
I think they've really dropped over the last, 10 years. Bob Stoops had it really going, and they bring Lincoln Riley in, and he kind of run the gamut and run everything out of it. But at the end of the day, for us, the new people playing each other, Texas going to Georgia, or, I don't even know where they play them or not, but the new rivalries are there. Rivalries are what made college football, and I hope to heck we don't ruin them.
See Clay while he's here. Forget all that Roll Tide stuff. War Eagle.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I got to change
You're going to have to be
jerseys here.
careful going into Alabama, taking both sides of the equation here.
But,
By
the way, I didn't know you was in the CIA.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Iraq office, 2005 to 2011.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we might call you back up.
It's funny you bring that up, actually. There's been a
that's
couple of people that have been asking some
about
questions
that. Yeah.
at the high level. Anyway, I know we have so many fun people to talk to, team. We'll get right back to it. Senator, honestly, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look, I'm getting back down to after this RNC. I'll be down in South Florida, and I've already got it set up with my brother. You know what we're going to be doing? Get out to the range. It's been a while. Haven't been shooting in a few weeks. And the good news for me is I got a new firearm to try out. My brothers and I love going shooting together. And Bear Creek Arsenal, man, I'm telling you, every time I try a new Bear Creek Arsenal weapon, I'm just amazed at the quality, the craftsmanship, the accuracy. This is your new firearms company. I'm telling you, once you try them, you see how good the stuff they make is and what the prices are. It's just unbeatable. My main gun store in Miami, too, they know all about these guys. They say, look, they're just changing the whole industry with the fact that they can turn out such precision firearms at incredible prices. Bear Creek Arsenal has 26 calibers on its website, including the recently released 8.6 Blackout. They've got accurate, reliable, still affordable firearms all across the board. They're also running some incredible sales this month, July only. So if you're considering investing in a new firearm, which, come on, it's a great present to yourself this summer, don't wait. Go to BearCreekArsenal.com. Use my name, Buck, B-U-C-K, as your promo code for 10% off your order. Again, trust me, go to this website, BearCreekArsenal.com. Use promo code Buck for 10% off. Exclusions apply.